On the 10th day of the sit-in at the School of Oriental and African Studies in London, they queue for food.
The second discussion is about the future of this occupation process, if you will.
The banners and the atmosphere betray that signature emotion of the modern student revolt, polite outrage.
In the agreement as it's currently written, what's been agreed is that an ongoing discussion will happen between...
Facing an ultimatum from the management to quit the building, they debate why they're probably not going to.
We're at a point in the kind of student movement, in the student struggle, where we've got, 30 universities in occupation. We've had 130,000 students walk out on the street. We're not doing this alone. We've got the strength of the whole student movement behind us.
This room is packed. Everyone is talking about us. We had 20,000 people in the streets yesterday, 20,000 people also last week. I mean, there's a big movement starting in Great Britain. We shouldn't forget it. I had a French journalist coming saying, wow, it's amazing what's happening in England. I told them, because you think it's only you that can do strikes and everything. I believe also in the UK, people scared for their rights, scared for their education.
It would be a great defeat for us if we said to them, we just accept that you use these bastard methods. So I think we should stay here.
And reps from the Lecturers' Union are here to inject a note of radicalism from another generation.
We'll support you in whatever you choose to do. But speaking personally, and here I'd like to see this turned into a permanent occupation as part of a long-term protest against... If you really want to make an impact, move from here and take over the director's office.
What the students here are trying to do are two things: pressure the government, but also pressure the college's own management to oppose the government. Despite the radicalism of some of their action, what is striking is the almost complete absence of any radical political rhetoric.
Instead, the whole thing is based on understanding and using the existing networks of power and influence, and they know where the weakness in the system lies. YouTube tells the wider story. There are now more than 30 sit-ins. Here's the action in Cambridge, and here's Leeds. And last night, a protest in central London descended into chaos with 150 people arrested. But the real power of this movement lies beyond the streets in demographics. With half of all school leavers expecting to go to university, this is an issue that's resonating with many families. So what kind of turning point is this? In 1968, the sit-in at the London School of Economics helped define the political landscape for a decade. Led by Marxists, they protested about Vietnam, Rhodesia. They moved the focus of politics from Parliament to the streets. Today, LSE veteran Tariq Ali, seen here in '68, spoke to the students at the SOAS occupation. He says the differences are immense.
Hopes were high, students wanted everything, not just small demands, but how they were being taught. There were counter courses, counter ideologies. They said, we don't want to be taught what you're teaching us. It's useless. This is what we want to be taught. So it was a very different mood. Whereas at the moment, the struggle that has erupted among students, which is fantastic in my opinion, is defensive.
Student leader Claire Solomon says there is a radicalisation process beginning, most notably among the school students.
That they really, really inspired by the movement, that they really feel engaged, that they really want to continue with the movement, no matter how much the police have been battering them recently, provoking them. I think if you look at the outrageous 9-hour kettling tactics that they used last week, this was, I think, for many of the people there, one of the most rapid political lessons that you can ever learn.
So the wheel turns, hopes rise, dreams recur. They vote to stay in overnight for the ultimate revolutionary reason.
My house is shit anyway, so...